This is our mutual fund investment training. It's for training purposes only, not to be used with clients or the general public. Let's talk about why Primerica went out and brokered arrangements with multiple financial firms to help us on the investment side of our business. Primerica feels very strongly about the investment side of our business, so much so that with all of the companies we represent, if you look at this as a clock from 12 o'clock to 5 o'clock, it's all investment related firms. The overwhelming majority of them, of the companies we've partnered with, are investment related firms. So Primerica is telling us something with the strategic partnerships that they've developed, which is you must get your investment license and you must use that license. Now, for those who have been here a while, you've got a client base of life insurance clients where you can call back and you can jumpstart your investment business. For all your life insurance clients, just run a report. You dial the phone and you use this script that has come to our attention that you have a life insurance policy and have not opened an investment. Do you currently have a Roth IRA? If they respond yes, you say, well, if our investments have taken less risk and outperformed yours, would you want to know? If so, let's compare apples to apples. I'd love to compete for your business. If they say they do not have a Roth IRA, did you know that $100 a month at 9% for 30 years is $185,000? That's only $25 a week. Primerica is helping people open investments for as little as $50 a month. We actually believe that everybody should invest and get rich. Do you agree? If so, I can have an IRA open for you in 30 to 45 minutes. Can we meet this afternoon, or would tomorrow during lunch be better? In meeting with the individual, there's a couple of tools that you have and strategies that you can employ to help find money for your clients to invest. One is to talk to them about their tax refund. The average tax refund is $2,900 for the year. Divided by 12 months, it's $242 a month. They are willfully overpaying the government in taxes every month in order to get that back at the end of the year. In short, if the government says, based on how many people you're claiming and what you're filing for, you only need to pay us $300 a month in taxes, for some reason, some of our clients are paying $542 a month, an extra $242. So if we can get them to call their tax prep guy, their tax advisor, and ask them to tell them, what do I need to file, what do I need to claim in order to break even at the end of the year, they'll do that, make that change with their job, and they've got an extra $242 a month coming in their check every month. And that is an amount of money we will use to invest, to open an IRA for them. $242 a month at 0%, just stuck under the mattress from age 35 to 70. And in my opinion, that's a little late. I think they waited 10 years to even, straighten this out. But at the end of the day, it's $100,000 under the mattress. At 3%, it's $179. At 6%, it's $344. And at 9%, it's $711,000. Here's an idea. Stop waiting on a politician to lower your taxes. Do it yourself. And then we'll take that money and help you get financially independent. Another tool we can use to help find money for our clients to invest is to provide them the budget worksheet. That's free. You can email that sheet to them. They fill it out. We do the math and find out if this money is truly available. Is it left over? If so, can't we take 30% of that, 50% of that, 75% of that, put it away for your future? Another tool we can use to help our clients find money to invest is the mobile F&A. We find out their dates of birth. It tells us their age. We find out when they'd like to have enough money accumulated where they can stop working for money and start living off of their own. So this 33-year-old couple tells us age 65 will be ideal. Software says we've got 33 years to implement and execute a plan to make sure you can retire. We'll find out their annual income. Software breaks it down to a monthly amount. And then we'll find out, based on today's dollars, if they had no kids, no house note, no credit card bills, no debts, no nothing, how much of that $7,500 could they live on today if they weren't working? It was just the two of them taking care of themselves. They'll give us a percentage or an actual dollar amount. And in this example, they said, listen, we could get by comfortably on $5,000 a month today. Well, software says that 30 plus years from now, when they get ready to retire, just using a 3% inflation rate, it'll take $13,000 a month to buy what $5,000 a month buys today. So one of the things we will be communicating clearly is you're going to need more money than you thought if you're going to have enough money available to pull out $13,000 a month, and the software will show them the exact amount of money they need to have put away. We can do this for families in less than 2 minutes. We'll be showing them the impact that inflation has on their retirement. We'll show them the total amount of money they need to be pulling out in the future at retirement. And then we'll show them the total amount of money they need to have put away. We've answered 3 questions for them that they've never even thought to ask, and we've done it in 2 minutes. Now we get to say, let's see whether or not you are on track to actually accumulate this. What is the total amount of money you have put away for retirement savings right now? $40,000. Is all of that at the current job, or is some of that at an old job and that you've left and you've left the money there? In some cases, we'll find out that half of this, if not all of it, is at some other place, and I've just started a new. If that's the case, those are rollover dollars. But either way, what's the total amount you've got put away? $40,000. How much are you adding to that a month between you and your significant other? $400 a month, outstanding. Software tells us 40 grand with $400 a month on it. As long as we're growing that at 8%, between now and retirement, that will grow to 1.3 million. You need 2.8, you're short 1.5, to which we ask our clients, when would you have liked to find out you're short? At age 33 or 53? And they always tell us 33. The sooner the better, then great. Don't look at this as a problem. You should be quite thankful that you've discovered the shortfall in less than 3 minutes. What we'll do is show you how to cover that up. So now the software will then tell us $400 a month is what they're putting out for retirement. And it answers another question they had no idea to ask. What's the total amount I should be investing monthly? Well, that amount is $1,100. So now we've got a client that we're sitting with, a prospective investment client. We're saying you are $773 a month short of reaching your retirement goal. And here's our question, the one that moves us toward doing business. How much of the 773 could you come up with if your life depended on it? And by the way, it does. Now let's be clear. I'm not assuming you've got the entire 773. But I am asking directly, how much of that could you come up with in order to cover your own shortfall? And I've discovered that using this software for 3 to 5 minutes gets a quality response from my clients because they recognize they are short. Now they look at me and tell me, Eugene, I've got $300 a month extra that I could put toward making sure that I don't retire broke. I want to cover that up. You've given me a legitimate reason to talk to you about what extra money I have floating around. Well, I've got $300 a month. Outstanding. You are investing $400 a month total. I will open up an IRA with you for $300 a month. So the $400 on the job plus the $300 with me means you're now putting away $700 a month for your retirement. And instead of accumulating 1.3, you'll accumulate 1.9. I just made a $580,000 difference in your finances in less than 5 minutes. We need to open that IRA up today. By the way, the $300 a month you discovered that you had, plus the $242 I helped you find, is $542 a month. You need some life insurance. You should take advantage of the Vivint Smart Home program we have. If you don't have a home automation and a home security system, we're definitely going to open that Roth IRA. And we're going to help you get a will of power of attorney and directed to physician. But with that kind of money, let's play around with our financial calculator. I recommend you become really adept at using the financial calculator because it helps you close business. Within the financial calculator, which is in the mobile app, the Primerica app, we'll start out with $0 put away for retirement, a 9% rate of return. We're going to put money away for 35 years. And we're going to start out with a monthly amount of $500 a month. And let's look at this schedule. $500 a month, 9% rate of return for 35 years. 5 years from now, you've got $37,000. 7 years from now, you got $58,000. 10 years from now, you pretty much got $100,000. Now, here's what I love to show my clients. 6 years to go from 0 to almost $50,000. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years to double it. Now we're at $112,000. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years to double that. It took 6 to get it to 50. Then we started doubling this money. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years to double it to 400,000, right? 20 years from now, this investment that we've started, you've got $336,000 there. 30 years from now, you've got $922,000, and 35 years from now, we've got $1.4 million. That's on top of whatever you put away inside of your 401k. How soon do you want to open this investment so you can get started growing your money? By the way, what if we determine that the 500, we couldn't use the whole 500 because you do need to spend $125 a month to get $500,000 worth of life insurance on yourself and your spouse and $25,000 on your kids. You also need $26 a month for the will, power of attorney, directed to physician, the PLPP program, and you're going to spend about $70 a month for your home automation because you do want to get a home security system. So really, you've got $300, $350 a month. So, okay, the numbers look very good. 10 years from now, it's 68,000. 15 years from now, it's 133. 20 years from now, it's 235. 25 years from now, it's 395. 35 years from now, it's still $1 million. How soon do you want to get started growing this money? We can also provide a printout for you, which I've discovered when I just show this on the screen, it's pretty impactful to my clients. And they start leaning toward, let's open this thing up today. And all I'm trying to do is just get you familiar with the phenomenal tools that you have. So those numbers look familiar. Number of years, 35, 9% growth rate, $350 a month, $1 million is what we'll accumulate during that period of time. But look at this. I love to show this. $350 a month for 35 years. You've put out of your pocket, you've contributed $147,000 during that period of time. That's the work you did. The orange is the work your money did. That's the interest you earned. Now, who in their right mind would not like to put in that amount, but then get that given to them? How soon do you want to start this investment so that we can help you get closer to your financial independence number, right? So with that being said, let's go back. Here's two mutual fund investment presentations. One of them's pretty short. Another one's about 15, 20 minutes long. The short one I really love because you can use this to get someone's attention, to get them to come and sit down with you so we can speak more in detail. But I've got access to a mutual fund. It's the Appreciation Fund. Let me show you some numbers that I think will blow your mind. This fund was opened in 1970. If in 1970 you had been around and you started a $153 a month pre-authorized checking contribution, meaning we're pulling that money directly out of your bank account and sticking it into this mutual fund. That's essentially $5.10 a day, a Starbucks a day. And if you had started investing $153 a month from 1970 to 2000, 30 years, you would have put in $55,000 total dollars. Now, in January of 2001, I want you to stop investing, and for the next 17 years, I want you to start withdrawing $33,000 a year. Now, you put in $55,000. It's grown so well that for the next 17 years, I'm going to have you pull out $33,000 a year, which means you've pulled out $580,000 over the course of the next 17 years. You have pulled out 10 times more than you put in. What do you think the balance is if you put in 55 for 30 years, over a 30-year period of time, then pull out 580 over a 17-year period of time? What do you think the balance is? Let me help you out. It's $1,218,316. This thing grew so well that it kept growing even though you were pulling money out. Got a better one for you. What if you're going to do a number 2 at McDonald's a day from 1970 to 2000? $229 a month, half of a fully funded IRA. During those 30 years, you put in $82,000. Now I want you to stop putting money in, and over the next 17 years, I want you to pull out $50 grand a year, or $879,000. I want you to pull out 10 times the amount you put in over the next 17 years. You still have $1,864,999. This thing is a beast, and you need to get some money in it. What if we did a fully funded IRA or a car note for those 30 years? You put in 164 grand. January of 01, I want you to stop putting money in, and I want you to start withdrawing over the course of the next 17 years, $100,000 a year for 17 years. You pulled out $1.7 million. You still have $3,766,236 left inside this account. I have access to this mutual fund, which is a beast. We need to get some money in this for you right away. We also have a Discover brochure. This is a very nice piece that I hand to every client that comes into my office, and we do a short mutual fund presentation with them, depending on how much they need. Some of them get 25% of this, some of them get 100% of what I'm about to show you. But either way, Legg Mason provides it to us for free. If you had to pay for this book, it probably costs $9 per. But you, as a securities licensed representative, you have to be securities licensed to present this information. You also have to be securities licensed to order it, but you can order it from Legg Mason and they will send it to you for free. So call the number you see on the screen and ask them to send you 10, 15 Discover brochures just to get yourself started. Do not call them and order 100. They are cost items. This is a business partner of ours. Go ahead and order 10, 15 of them, maybe 20 of them. Go through those, call and make another order. But you need to get your hands on them immediately. This is how we use this brochure as a mutual fund presentation. We're sitting down with a client and we're going to talk to you about putting money away, but I want you to know the place we put money is in mutual funds for our clients. Let me explain to you what a mutual fund is. Lots of different investors pool their assets together, put it in one account. We have a professional that we will hire. That professional goes and invests the money in global economy for us. They get a quality return that return back to us after fees. But there's lots of different ways we can invest in it, but mutually we will fund this account. That person is putting in $50 a month. This person only wants to put in $5,000 and walk away. They're not going to make a monthly contribution. This person puts in $5,000 and they add $50 a month. Lots of ways to put money in, but let's talk about why we want to do it, because you can get a high rate of return using mutual funds, and the rate of return you get is very important, especially if you understand the rule of 72. The rule of 72 says you take whatever rate of return you're getting paid on your money, you divide that into the number 72, and whatever the answer is the number of years that it takes the money you've got in this position to double. 3 goes into 72 24 times. It'll take 24 years for that money to double. And if you leave it there, in another 24 years, that money will double. Let me make a more practical application for you. Let's suppose you took $10,000 to the bank and the bank said, we will pay you 3% on that money. Without you knowing the rule of 72, 3% is better than nothing. You just hand the money to them, right? What if they told you up front, listen, we're going to pay you 3%, and 48 years from now, that 10 grand will be 40,000. You still might not think anything bad about this as a concept or a prospect for you, because that's going to be 4 times the amount of money you gave them. However, after you learn the rule of 72, you will see what is wrong with this. So the 10 grand you give them, they're going to pay you 3% return on it. In 24 years, it's grown to 20,000. And in another 24 years, the 20 is 40. How would you feel if you found out that that bank knew where to get 6% return on your money? They repositioned your money into a place to get a higher rate of return. And at 6%, 6 goes into 72, 12 times. They're going to get your money to double for them every 12 years. So over the same period of time, they take your 10,000, turn it into 160,000, pay you 40,000, and keep 120,000. How would that make you feel? That's the question I ask my clients when I show them this. And a lot of them have used expletives with me to explain exactly how they would feel if they found out that the bank reinvested their money, turned it into 160, gave them 40, and kept 120. It gets worse. How would you feel if you found out the bank knew where to get 9% rate of return on your money? They turned it into 640,000, gave you 40, and kept 600. When I saw this 25 years ago, this was one of the things that convinced me that this is the business I wanted to be in, because the individual that showed it to me explained to me that this is the way the world works, and that banks, credit unions, and insurance companies are the largest contributors to mutual funds on the planet. So they take money from us, pay us very little, they reinvest it in mutual funds, make a lot more money, pay us the small amount, and keep the difference. And all we do at Primerica is find people growing money like this or less, and then we show them how to grow it like this or more. In the back of the Discover brochure is a one-page front and back fact sheet, F-A-C-T, the facts that need to be known about investing in this one mutual fund. So this is a copy of the fact sheet in the Discover brochure. The appreciation fund, the same fund I did the short 3-page presentation with you earlier on. And we pull this out, lay it in front of our clients, and say, let me give you a quick mutual fund 101 class. Whenever you're talking to anybody about an investment moving forward, the first thing you want to know is, how old is the investment? I'm not interested in putting money in a 12-month-old, 16-month-old, 2-year-old investment. We don't know how that thing's going to perform long term. I want to put money in investments that's been around for quite some time. This mutual fund has been around since 1970. At the time of this recording, that would make it a 49-year-old mutual fund, and that's its average rate of return. Not every single year, up, down, just like we averaged your grades in school. We took the 80 plus the 72 plus the 96 plus the 48 on that pop quiz when she caught you slipping, plus the 90 plus the 100 plus the 90. We added them all up, divided by the total number, and we came up with an average. The same thing is done here. So that's not 9%, 6%, that's 10.27%. We need to get your money in this thing. As a matter of fact, in 1970, if all your people had got together when you were born at that time, if that was the time you were born, if all your people had got together back then and put $10,000 together and put it away for you, instead of bringing cloth diapers and baby rattles and toys that you broke and can't find today, what if they would have just pooled 10 grand, stuck it in this investment, and walked away from it? Someone would call you today and say, we forgot to tell you, but that investment we started in 1970 that we walked away from in that appreciation fund, yeah, it's grown to $1,319,000 because we didn't touch it. Eugene, my people didn't have that kind of money, but if they would have came up with half, you'd have half. A third, you'd have a third. Bottom line is, we got to get your money inside of this thing as soon as possible. How do they get that quality rate of return? The professionals go out across different industries and invest a certain percentage of the total fund's assets inside different industries. We're not going to load up and put 100% of it here. That can be problematic. We spread it around 71 different companies. This mutual fund has 71 companies inside of it. That makes for a diversified portfolio spread across these industries. And of the 71, they're showing you the top 10. There's 61 other companies they're not showing you. They're just saying, we want to give you an idea of what comprises this one mutual fund, so here's the top 10. And that company is from the IT industry. And we've only got 6% of all of the money invested in that one company. That's Warren Buffett. That's your bank. That's your cable provider. That's your credit card. That's your health insurance company with your job. That's Google. That's the iPhone you're looking at this on, or the iPad that you're watching, right? That's Home Depot, where you bought your hammer and your table saw in your garage. And that's where you who you're using, whose medicine you're using when you go to the doctor and have to fill a prescription. Diversified portfolio, companies you know and believe in, spread across different industries, quality rate of return. Now, before we put money away into that, if you're going to be our client, we must talk about the three fundamental accounts you need to have. One of them first is an emergency fund, so I can help you establish this if you don't have it. But it should be a minimum of 3 months of your income and or your total monthly expenses. And we're going to use this for emergencies and things of that nature. Most people get in trouble debt-wise because they don't have an emergency fund. Something pops up and they start putting it on credit. So I look my clients in the eye and ask, do you have an emergency fund? Sometimes they say no. Sometimes they say yes. When they say yes, I ask about how much do you have? Sometimes they tell me $200. Sometimes they tell me $30,000 and it's sitting at the bank. Well, we're gonna take some of that $30,000, put it in a position of growth, leave some of that emergency fund there, and we've just found some additional money for an investment because 30 grand in the bank might be a bit much for the emergency fund. Once we've established the emergency fund, we're going to look at short-term accounts. We have access to different investments that's perfect for this because these are things that you might be looking at doing in the short term, and we want to put money in a separate place before we start stacking up the wealth building account, which is long-term. So we'll walk you through the three fundamental accounts. And as we start this process, we're just making sure you know you're not going to go at this alone. It's you plus me. And we're going to use Legg Mason to help you grow the money. So we've got a team. And as it pertains to that team, there's three things that we want you to be comfortable with. And if you can understand and apply these three things, then you're going to meet your goals. First and foremost is diversification. We'll use our software to determine exactly which funds you need based on your age, your risk tolerance, and your preferences, and your investment preference. We'll be able to identify exactly where you need to be. In other words, which colors need to be in your portfolio. But let's look at these colors individually so we understand why you need a diversified portfolio. If you follow any one of these asset classes, what you will see is they are doing the same thing on an annual basis. Up, down, up, down. Look at large cap. Up, down, up, down, up. Look at bonds, down, up. They're all doing that, right? So here's the question. You want to guess at which one might be right for you? Or would you like a portfolio with a little bit of everything in it so that no matter what's up, the majority of your portfolio is up and you're making money? Well, I'm going to take care of that for you by helping you by constructing the portfolio for you. We're going to take care of this. So diversification is one of the things that are necessary. We'll take care of that. You're going to have to help me with the discipline side, which means once we put money in this investment, you don't touch it, not the wealth building account. Because if you leave it alone, you're going to get wealthy. How do I know? Because the stock market's returns vary tremendously. However, they were positive 76% of the time from 37 to 2018. As a matter of fact, the market averaged 10.2% during that period of time. There were 62 years where the market was up during that period of time. The average return when the market was up was 19%. I'm going to put you in the right place. You just have to be patient. The market was down 20 times during that period of time. So it's an 82-year period of time. Market was up 62 of those years, down just 20. And when it's down, it's averaging a negative 12%. So we've got a market that's up 3 times more than it's down. You don't have to be concerned about this. Just put money away and let it ride. As a matter of fact, let's take a closer look at the 62 years that the market was up. Of those 62 years, 10 of those years, the market was up from 0 to 6%, basically not negative, flat, up to 6%. 9 of those years, the market was up between 6 and 12%. 8 of those years, the market was up 12 to 18%. And this is just nutty to me, guys. 16 of those years, the market was up 18 to 24%. And 19 of those years, the market was up 24% or more. When I ask the average person I sit with, what do you think the average return of the market has been for the last 80 years? Very few people guess this high. We don't even understand how the market's been performing because when we're hearing about the market, this is what we're hearing about from the news. 2008, the market returned negative 37%. Everyone heard about that. But they weren't able to realize over an 82-year period of time, the market was only down 20 of those times. As a matter of fact, in 08, the market was down negative 37%, but in 2009, the market was up 26%. In 2010, the market was up 15%. In 2011, the market was up 2%. In 2012, it was up 16%. In 2013, it was up 32%. In 2014, it was up 13%. Up 1.4 in 2015, 12% in 2016, and 21% in 2017. It was down in 08 and was up for the next 9 or 10 years. I'm going to put you in the right place. You must exercise discipline. I've found that presenting facts help people stay put and not be afraid every so often when the market goes down. And if you're going to invest on a monthly basis with us, dollar cost averaging is truly going to bless you. Let me show you what that means. Two investors here. One has the ability to invest in a straight rising market. They put money in the market and the market takes off. Another investor has the ability to invest and their market's going to be fluctuating. It actually happens to go down first and then it comes up. When I ask my prospective clients, which market would you rather be in, one that goes straight up or one that goes down and up? If you're going to be investing on a monthly basis, which would you rather be in? And most of them say rising market. And then I show them the power of dollar cost averaging. So if you're going to invest with me, we're going to get you the right diversification. We're going to make sure that you are disciplined. You're going to sit down and stay in this investment for the long haul. And if you're putting money away on a monthly basis, that's going to help you exercise patience because of the math. So let's look at an investor A investing in a rising market. In this case, both situations, we've got a 6-month period of time, and both investors are going to put away $100 a month. Investor A in a rising market, $100 a month. The share prices, first month they get started, are $10 per share. They're able to buy 10 shares with their $100. The next month, the share price goes up because the market is rising, so the shares are more expensive. It's $12 a share. Their same $100 only buys 8 shares. As the market keeps going up, the person who is investing monthly is buying less and less and less and less shares. In the 6th month, the share prices are $20 a piece. You've only got $100. You can only buy 5. At the end of that period of time, you own 42 shares with the $600. You paid an average cost per share of $14. Some you paid $10 for, some you paid $20, but we've averaged your cost at $14. Now watch what happens during a fluctuating market. First month we start, the share prices are $10 a piece. You got $100, you bought 10. The next month, the share prices drop. The market starts to go down and the shares are $10 a piece. Your 100 has bought 14 shares. As the market keeps going down, you are buying more shares. At one point in time, the market has gone down. The shares are $2 a piece. Your $100, in 1 month, you bought more shares than investor A did in 6 months. Then the share prices go back up, and finally they just level back out. You started investing at 10. We're going to call it a day at $10 per share. But you own 126 shares. Some of them you paid $10 for. Some of them you paid $2 for. You paid an average of $4.76 per share. 42 shares at $20 a piece, their value. You got about $800 and some odd dollars here. 126 shares at only $10 per value per share, and you got $1,260. $800, $1,260. You won. Why? Because you purchased more shares. So what I'm communicating is when we open this investment for you and you're going to start putting money away on a monthly basis, the absolute best thing that can happen to you immediately is that the market goes down so that the money you are putting into your investment starts buying more shares. It's going to come up because that's what it does. But every time it goes down, you will get excited because you know you're buying more shares. And if you've got extra money, that's the time to dump it in. Between diversification, you being disciplined, and understanding dollar cost average, you got a real good shot at getting financially independent with our help. So if we put it all together, the same mutual fund, let's look at what happens if we have diversification working and a long-term disciplined mindset. From 87 to 2017 is 30 years. There's a lot of bad things that happened that caused the market to go down, and you don't have to worry about that if you're investing long-term. $100 a month into this fund, the same one we've been talking about for 15 minutes now, during that period of time with all these reasons not to invest, all these reasons to be afraid, that $100 a month grew to $171,000. The same fund with $458 a month in it during the same period of time with all of these reasons and excuses not to invest grew to $786,000. And a $250 a month investment, increasing that 10% annually, which we can set that up automatically. It'll pull $250 a month out of your account. The next year it pulls out 10% more and continues to do that during that period of time. You have $1,360,148,000 if we put it all together. So what we would do is ask you some questions to determine your investment profile. These questions help us determine whether you are a very conservative investor or an extremely aggressive investor. So we'll ask the questions, we will add up your score, and then you will total that up to determine what type of investor you are. In this example, someone scored between 25 and 31. They are a growth investor. Now, we've got model portfolios already put together by Ibbotson, the leader in portfolio creation in the industry. This is an independent firm that everyone has paid to come into their offices, into their mutual fund offices, look at all of the investments that they have, and then they professionally create portfolios. In other words, they get you the right colors that you need for your portfolio based on your preferences. So if you are a growth investor, I've got two separate portfolios that have already been put together. Our plus model with 4 investments, or our premium model that's got significantly more. The more money you have, the greater the diversification. But it's already put together by the experts in the industry. And the appreciation fund is inside of that one. If you've got less than $200 a month to put away, then we've got a single fund solution for you. And depending on how you score, we've got a single mutual fund that could have 80 to 150 companies inside of that works well for you as well. We'll just be able to determine where you need to be based on your risk preference and tolerance and the amount of money we're working with. Now, let's talk about mutual fund licensing and compensation as it pertains to you, the agent, because this presentation is not for clients. This is for you, the agent, so that you can practice your Discover brochure, right? But also be made very well aware of the licensing process we have within our team and our base shop and how you get paid. Here's the licensing expectations for the new associates that come to work with us. This is you and everyone on your team. You need a life license within 30 to 45 days after you turn in your application. 10 days to study and pass the exam, 20 to 30 days for processing time. You need to get started on that immediately. Securities license, 6 and 63. We need that 60 days after your life insurance license. You need to get started quickly, This study you can do at home. You can do this study at home as well using the software that you guys have access to. This license allows you to submit mutual fund, annuity, and 401k businesses, the 6 and 63. The Series 26 license needs to happen 30 days after the 6 and 63. This license will allow you to supervise other securities license reps and is required to become an RVP. In other words, you're going to get overrides based on that license, and you have to have it to become an RVP. And the Series 65 license, 30 to 45 days after the 26. This license makes you a registered investment advisor and eligible to submit managed account businesses. This is a lot of licenses just on the investment side. Life insurance side as well. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 licenses. This is how serious of a business that you are in right now, even though it's part-time and you might not be treating it as serious as you need to be, but this is how serious it is. Your dentist, your doctor, your lawyer, and your CPA, each of them have one professional license apiece. Between the 4 of them, they have 4 professional licenses. In 6 months with us part-time, you will get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 professional licenses. You will have more professional licenses than your doctor, dentist, CPA, and lawyer combined. That's how serious this is. You get paid 4 ways on investments: upfront compensation on lump sums. You get paid trails or earns, 12B1s. There's monthly bonus and quarterly stock awards based on what your team, your base shop has done. That's for vice presidents only. And you are paid compensation on PACs in the form of residual income coming in every single month. You can find out your compensation by on POL, touching the POL home tab, right? Come down to compensation, come down to product commissions, click on that, and it'll take you to the board that shows you how you get paid. But let's kind of go over that, because this is what you look at. To calculate compensation, multiply the investment amount, the amount of money your client has, by the dealer reallowance. That's the amount that goes to Primerica first. So when we send investment monies to an investment firm, there's an amount they give to Primerica first. That's the dealer reallowance. Then you have to multiply that by your commission rate based on where you are in our hierarchy. So a $10,000 investment would be here. That's a 5% dealer reallowance times your commission rate as a rep. So it's 10,000 times 5% times 30%, and there's your pay. Now watch this. The more money the client puts away with us, they receive a break point. They pay less in fees. So if you got someone that's about to put away $47,000, you might want to ask them if they have an additional $3,000, because they can go from a 4.5% fee down to 4%. And the more they put in, the lower that fee goes. So we earn commissions 2 ways on retail mutual funds and annuity accounts. We're paid up front for what they put in, and we're paid back in commissions known as trails or 12B1s. To give you a better idea what that looks like. You've put money away. You've got it growing at 10% annual. You've got $5 million put away, assets under management for you. Your dealer allowance on your trails times the commission means you're going to make $7,000 a year, $600 a month on that $5 million. But that money is still in the market and it's growing. So 5 years from now, if it's at $7.8 million, you're at $11,000 a year. 10 years from now, you're at 19 grand. 15 years from now, 20 years from now, and total commissions paid over a 20-year period of time is $500,000 on you starting packs, opening up monies, finding 50 grand here, putting money away. But there's residual income to be made here. You could find yourself making as much money in residual income as you're making in your full-time job. And if that's the case, quit the job. When we're putting money away in PACs, pre-authorized checking, this is a monthly contribution. Fully funded IRA, $458 a month. Regional leader, you make $9.73 per month every time that money goes in. As a vice president, you make $14 a month every time they put that away. As a regional leader, 2 IRAs a month for 10 years. You've got a bunch of clients that are putting money away. You're waking up to $2,300 a month in income that's coming in for work you did the last 10 years. You're going to get paid that moving forward. As a vice president, 2 RAs a month for 10 years, it's $6,800 a month coming in, $70,000 a year for the work you did. Listen, if you're going to be here part-time for a while, or if you're playing your flag here full-time, you're going to end up with a lot of clients. So you got to have your investment license so you can have that residual income coming in. What if you did $125,000 a month in investments every month for 10 years? That money grew at 9%. You would have $25 million in assets under management. Let us even suppose you did that part-time. 10 years from now, you got $25 million in assets under management, and you stop going out and finding new contributions. That $25 million is growing at 9%. That year, you're going to make $35,000 on the $25 million. So I started that illustration by saying, what if you were doing it part-time? But this is actually regional vice president compensation, so I'll have to take that back. This is you being a vice president, and you're serious about this business. And over the next 10 years, you end up with $25 million in assets under management. You're making $35,000 a year in residual income off of that. And if it continues to grow, you're not putting new money in. The market is growing your assets under management. 5 years later, you have $55,000 a year. 15 years later, you're at $95 million in assets under management and $135,000 a year. This has nothing to do with your life insurance income and overrides you're getting off of other areas of your business. This is just the investment division of your firm. I think you need to pay a lot more attention to this business, the licenses that you need to get. You have to set more appointments, and we got to help people start putting money away. You can also recruit with your mutual fund license as well. $458, a fully funded IRA. What if you were working with us part-time? What if we were talking to someone who just opened an IRA with you? You were able to say, listen, if you worked with me part-time, got your investment license, 4 clients a month is going to be about 200 clients in 4 years and 2 months. This is you doing it part-time. I don't want you to quit your job. I don't want you to be any less of a Girl Scout leader or a ministry leader at the house or a husband or wife or father, just with some spare time. Let's go get you 200 clients. For each one of those that's putting in $458 a month, if you were brand spanking new here, you're making $7.32 a month per. If you were a vice president, it's $14 per. But if you're just part-time, it's $7.32 per. And you've got 200 clients. 4 years from now, you've got $1,400 a month coming in, or 17 grand a year in part-time income. That's residual. This is not money you're working for. It's coming in because you got the license and we put people's money to work for them. That $1,400 a month is significant because in 2016, Social Security website said the average Social Security check is $1,300 a month. You got a choice to make. You want to wait 30 years to get that from Social, or you want to come with me and you and I go make it happen in 4 years? Which would you choose, 4 years or 30? I mean, after all, you've just become an investment client. With me, get your license and you can be getting paid on your own investment. And if this makes sense to you, this will make sense to other people. And if we click along at 1 a week for the next 4 years, you got 17 grand a year coming in residual income. Which would you rather do? Wait 30 years and go get it in 4? By the way, do you have a source of residual income? If not, would you like one? Because if so, come work with me. So that concludes this training. I hope you took a lot of notes. You got questions, get in touch with the upline and or the upline. If they can't answer, they'll get in touch with me and we're going to take care of you. Take care, guys.